Morena. I'm a couple minutes early, I think. Early. Hello. Happy Sunday. My hair's still wet. It's all good. Happy Sunday, guys. Hope everyone has had a good weekend so far. Yeah, how's it going? Hey, John. Lovely to see you, sort of. Hope life is going well back in the States at the moment, or at least that everyone's still in their lockdowns and enjoying themselves. Ah, good old Connecticut. Gotta love it. I was so proud. I am so proud of, hi Marvin, I'm so proud of Connecticut. They have like some of the lowest COVID statistics because they aren't dumbasses. The state that I grew up in is not dumbasses. Thank Christ for that, eh? Holy crap. It's good though. Anyway, yeah, all that stuff. It's so weird. Like we had this conversation. We adhere to the mask, shockingly. That's good though. You gotta do what you gotta do. You know, I always think like, we're so fortunate here. We're so fortunate to be like in a small country, tiny country in an island, 2 islands. Like they weren't even allowing people on the South Island to go to the North Island and vice versa. Like there was not even, you know, for however many weeks, you couldn't even go from island to island. Like you were stuck. There was nothing. So, you know, people were isolated to their islands, and it's, you know, it is what it is. So, it's just crazy. I apparently I can wave to people. So like we're so lucky to be here, to be where we are. You mean you had not? Yeah, we had, you know, they said we had levels of stay home orders, basically, of isolation orders. You know, when did it start? It started on autumn equinox. Well, it would have been spring equinox for you guys, but autumn equinox, they basically said, yeah, you guys are staying home. You're only allowed to leave. You send one person out to go to the grocery store. You send, you know, you have a bubble. We had, you know, Marvin. I didn't see Marvin for what, like 2 months. He lives down the next suburb over, you know, so it was, people were really sticking to it, you know? I mean, this is the thing with probably this country in particular, you know? Because it's a small country, we sort of have to look out for each other, you know? We don't want to screw things up, you know? We don't want to do that. It's amazing. Solid since St. Patrick's. Is that St. Patrick's Day? It's St. Ooh. It's a long time. But that's the problem, is that there are so many dumbasses in America. Sorry to all of those from America, but holy crap, people are just not. Yeah, Marvin, we were pretty cooperative. We are. I mean, this is the thing. If something needs to get done, it gets done. You know, the shootings that happened in Christchurch, was it last year? Done. You know, we changed the gun laws the next week. You know, there's no fucking around. You know, stuff has to get done. We're isolated here in general. You know, we are on the bottom half of the planet, with like Australia is the closest country, and that's still like a 3-hour flight, 4-hour flight. So I mean, we're isolated. We have to look out for each other. And I think about ways that the states could take that on, and yeah, doing it state by state is really good. I know, what is it, over in Australia, like they've got another outbreak of it in Melbourne. So some suburbs are shutting down. Like you can't, you know, go from one suburb to the next. And even the states there, so Victoria and New South Wales have closed their border. You know, it's the sort of thing that has to happen for people to get on with it. And you know, you have like here we're pretty much back to normal. We're the only country that has sports. We're the only country that can watch rugby. So it's like, wow. It's amazing. Would have been nice for a full directive, but it was left to the governors. Yeah, they should have done just national. And I think about the way it always looks in sort of like zombie movies, you know, with like the helicopters and the tanks. And it's going to have to get to that point where people are in lockdown with military force before things can change, you know? Fuck, I am so glad I'm not there. I'm so sorry, but I'm so glad. Whoever listened to Trump is being, yeah. Trump is something else. But we're not going to get into politics. This is not about politics. This is not about politics. Oh, wow. It's quite interesting, though, to think that, yeah, so I had this conversation with my co-parent, my lovely, still husband. We're still married, but thanks, John. We had this thing where it was, you know, we're trying to understand what's going on in the rest of the world, you know. I've got friends all over the world who are just like, we're all screwed, you know. And here, we can't actually fathom what's going on because it's completely out of our context. It's completely out of our spheres of what we can understand because we're not going through it. We haven't had to go through anything quite that severe. Like our lockdown was, I want to go back to lockdown, but our lockdown was really lovely and really peaceful. I mean, there were obviously a lot of people going through some hard times, you know, because of abuse and, you know, all of the societal things that happen. And especially here in New Zealand, it's really, really prevalent. Like, yeah, so there are some bad parts to it. But for the most part, for us, it's been really chilled out and really good. So I'm hoping that the rest of the world can catch up. We'll catch up one of these days, yeah? Anyway, on that note, I'm gonna sage the fuck out of my house today. Oh my god. Wow, yeah. So, yeah, I've been in some weird situations over these last few weeks. And I just want to say that I know saging some of the energy that I've been feeling. I've really had to work hard on understanding what's mine and what's not mine. And this goes to sort of Kanye. Oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah, let's have the birthday party. so stop it. I'm trying to focus. Some of the energy that I've been feeling. Oh my god, you guys, stop it. It's so much better when people are on here. If I'm just rambling, I just ramble. Some of the energy, this goes back to something that Emily, who I will tag in this later, Emily we were talking about ways that being an empath can be really intense in times of this. And like this last week, I've completely felt everyone else's energies, and it has crushed me. It has crushed me. I know some of that energy is mine, but not all of it. I know some of that energy that I feel is that reflection of myself, which is really hard to deal with. But there have been some good eye-opening lines that have been drawn. It is morning here. It's Sunday morning. It's Sunday morning, and it's 11 a.m. in the morning on Sunday. Hence my hair's still wet, just got out of the shower. It's a bit gross. Energy wise, the things that we've been feeling is so much of it is not ours. So much of it is not ours. So much of the energy that I've been feeling is not mine. And as the world sort of goes through these shifts and these pulls and these, it knocks you around when you're a bit sensitive to all of that stuff. And it becomes so mentally exhausting that it becomes physically debilitating, because your mind and your thoughts are constantly like shifting and turning, and here's this thought and here's that thought and here's that thought. And it's a matter of, for me, when I start to feel that, I will just sit and have like 2 days of just bawling and crying my eyes out just to get it out of my system. And then you breathe, and then I have to really focus on what's mine and what's not mine. And that is really hard to do. That really is hard to do, because the things that you can feel as an empath, if you're feeling someone else's energy, you find the things that are affecting you. You know, I mean, it's when you're involved with someone else's energy, what they're going through does have an effect on you. And you can deal with your emotions, but you can't deal with the energy that is coming at you in that sort of sense. So what I've been focusing on lately is working on building my energy back up from the inside out. And I was walking through the city yesterday. I had an appointment in town, and I was walking into town, and I could feel that energy sort of build up inside of me again. And it was just, oh God, it was so good. And I used to get it. I used to get that sense of energy when I would walk around like New York City at night after a gig, and I'd be walking back to my car, you know, and I would go explore, you know, New York, or I would go and just, you know, get lost in a city somewhere, get lost in Boston or anywhere. I always felt like there were times that I did feel unsafe, but I didn't feel unsafe in a way that I was going to be harmed. You know, you could sense that. So if you build your energy from the inside out, you can feel all of a sudden your energy just sort of burst out, and you can feel your own energy sphere. And there's a sense of calm and confidence that just builds, and all of a sudden you feel like you're floating in a sense. Like it is just like, and you can sense that people sense a difference in you when that happens. So and for me, it's a safety thing. You know, there's so much to it. Marvin, all the planets are aligning. What? Hold on. At one point. Ugh. Yeah, planets have a big thing, huh? Might be something to do with that. It might be the fact that there is some weird stuff going on in my own life, but that's okay. Odd to feel more safe in a big city amongst the chaos. Exactly. This is the sort of state. Yeah, I used to love doing that. I would drive to New York at like 10 o'clock at night and then like wander around the city for a few hours and then drive back. Yeah, my mom wasn't too happy about that. But I always did feel safe. You know, I always did feel safe. I always felt my confidence, my internal energy would sort of take over. And you get used to that, and you get into this mode of that feeling. And a lot of the time what would happen is that when you have that confidence, when you have that sense of self-awareness, you can very easily control what people see. You can control what people feel around you. You can become invisible. That was the best thing about walking around New York City at 2, 3 in the morning, is all of a sudden you become invisible. When you sort of get that feeling, and it's just like you get in touch with so much more of your own energy, that it just, you float and you understand it, and and that was how I felt safe walking around a city like New York in the middle of the night. Even in Minneapolis, I used to do that a lot. When I lived by myself, I would take off at midnight and go for a walk. So yeah, exactly. You are, oh, Alan, hi Alan, you are a speck. You can choose to connect with people, or you can choose to not connect with people. So when we sort of have that control over our own bodies and our energies and our thoughts and our feelings, and we just sort of go into that space. I almost want to say, lately I've been going back to, I didn't mean to go all Dr. Seuss. It's all right. Dr. Seuss is good in our book. It's quite interesting to be in that space. So what I do to get to that space, and this is something obviously I've been practicing for a long time, and I do it. And now I feel like I'm getting back to being able to do it instantaneously, which is awesome. I feel like I'm, reclaiming a bit of my own power again. Meditating is good. Meditating is always really good. And if you don't meditate on a regular basis, you can sort of go in and out of it, out of meditation, and sort of get the same results. But when you start doing it, it's like quitting anything or starting anything. You get into the habit of it. It becomes just part of your ritual, and you almost cringe at not having it in your life. So when you start meditating, you end up with a little bit more control over your thoughts and your energy. So I highly recommend. Do you like any guided meditation? I started, this is a number of years ago, I was doing guided meditations with on an app called Headspace. And he had such simple visuals that were really easy to connect. Some people, with guided meditations, people go really all over the shop and tell you what to see. It's not the point, because you're thinking about it. You're thinking about, oh, walking down this wooded path, there's a deer coming up on your right side. It's like, I don't connect with that. Maybe I don't connect with that animal. Maybe, yeah, I do, but not everybody. Someone might be walking down the beach. Somebody might be walking through a park. Using guided meditations, as long as they're not too visual, is a good way to start. I find that just learning how to breathe properly is a big part of it. And when I was doing the Headspace app, what I learned from that was really huge. So if, sorry, I keep touching my ears because I re-pierced my second holes today. It's just like itchy. Mama! So what I do is it's just about breathing for me. I start with the breathing. So what I do is I go in 1, out on 2, in on 3, out on 4. Hi, money. So it's a bit slower than that. So, and you can count up to 10. I count to 12, but whatever works. Yeah, so it's just about 1, 2, 3, 4. Last piercing was Crystal Mall 92 style. I think these were probably 92. Is that when I've had these since? Sorry. So meditating though, breathing in and out and out. So you're sort of just, you're watching your breath, you're counting, which is immediately going to start to relax you. It is about just watching your breath and watching, you know, not how it's happening, but just the fact of being present with it and being and counting. I think one of the other things that have really helped me, you know, so you go into that and you do that quite a few times. You know, you count up to 10 and you count to 10 again and you count to 10 again, you know, and you sort of get into this place where you're like, okay, you know, and your body starts to calm down and you can feel your nervous system start to just relax. Because that's what it is your nervous system is just full on. Another thing that app taught me how to do, which was really, really important, was to do a body scan. So as your nervous system is calming down and you're still breathing, and you go back to sort of regular breathing, you know, you sort of get into this pattern of your breath and you still want to take nice deep breaths. So when you do a body scan, I imagine a photocopier light going from the top of my head, even just above the top of my head, and going all the way down really slowly. And as that light sort of hits different parts of your body, it's just a matter of noticing the energy that's there, not identifying pain or discomfort or things that feel good. You know, it's just acknowledging them. You know, if like right now I'm starting to get a little headache. So if I'm going down, I'm like, okay, I'm starting to get a headache. I'll deal with that later. I'm not going to think about ways that I can get rid of that headache right now because that's not why I'm here, you know. So you sort of go all the way down through your body, all the way down through your torso, into your hips, past your arms, your hands, your legs, your feet, into the ground. So you're doing this whole scan and you're noticing, and you can start to feel the energy system, your own energy system in your body. That was how I started really understanding how my system started working, or how my system has started or is working. You know, if I feel really out of whack, I will just start breathing and I'll do just a body scan and just say, okay, I'm feeling really uncomfortable in my belly, or I'm feeling really uncomfortable like in my chest or my throat. And you can sort of understand, you can sort of correlate that and marry that up with things going on in life. You know, our bodies are amazing. Cracking an egg, Marvin, that's great. Body scanning is super effective. I imagine cracking an egg on the top of my head. See? Whatever works. You don't have to use the photocopier method. I just like the idea of a light going. Marvin cracks an egg on the. Imagining cracking an egg on the top of your head. I love that. Let's see. 90. Okay, we're going back. I gotta. Sorry, I'm just going back and reading comments. Yeah. So, body scans are, they're so good. They are so good. Hey, Kin! Yeah, so the breathing and the body scanning, those are the things that really just, you know, you bring your presence, you bring your energy back onto what, wait, just as I'm talking about body scanning, everything's shut down. If you want to be able to bring that energy back during a certain situation, it's about the breathing, and it's about and just feeling where that is. And then another thing is, so the third thing that I do, so you've got the breathing, the body scan, and then the third thing that I do, and I do this when I'm walking quite a bit. Like if I'm going on hikes or if I'm even just walking through town, this is where that energy sort of builds and comes out. Is if you're in a meditation, you can practice this, and this is how you can practice. So you when you're sitting after your body scan, you almost open up the top of your head. Imagine the top of your head, the energy just sort of opening up. And you imagine light, like a waterfall, like a very small waterfall of light coming in through the top of your head and coming down into your system and just filling you with light, which sounds real woo-woo, but if you have any sort of again, this goes back to some of those guided meditations where I don't want to give a lot of information, because your information that you're going to get is a lot different. When you fill yourself with this light that you can see, the light is going to be a different color to what I see. Your light is going to be a different color to the next person. It's going to be different qualities of light. What I try to do, though, is I imagine the purest light. You know, you can call it like God source energy, whatever label you give to it in your own world is totally okay with me. You fill yourself with that. You open up your crown chakra and you just let it come in, and it fills and it fills. And I feel like when it starts to, you know, I imagine myself as a vessel, right? You know, your feet are on the ground, it fills up and it fills up and it fills up and it fills up. And as it fills completely to the top, it starts to spill over. You know, it's like one of those water fountains, you know, it fills up and then it spills over and then it fills up outside of you. And that light, that energy can like build up and around into your own energy sphere. That is how I use my energy. And there are times, though, you know, that works. There are times when all I need to do is to focus on the light that's in me, and I can feel it coming, just radiating out of my chest. And you can fill yourself that way, and you can fill your energy that way. This is really good for those of us that are super empathic, to just get in the moment of where we need to be. And if you're like me, where overthinking is like overthinking about situations that are not part of your own story, that's me. That is a good way to sort of reground, reassimilate your own thoughts, your own feelings with your own energy. And you push all that other stuff out. You push out the things that aren't part of you. You know, and in this case, with everything in the world, everything in going on in life, you're able to push out those feelings, those emotions, those thoughts that aren't yours. So if the world, you see all the shit going down on the news, and it's like, you know, this is really a drag. All I have to do is breathe, do a body scan, fill myself with light, and just keep breathing until I've calmed down. And I build that energy field, and I realize that, hey, those thoughts, they're on the outside of my energy field now, so it pushes them out. That, I find, is the three most helpful things that I do. So just the breathing, the body scanning, and filling myself and my energy sphere, my energy bubble, with light, love, energy, source energy, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, that seems to work for me. I know there's a lot of different techniques that people do for like grounding and centering and all of that. So, um, you know, it's really, really, really important that people do this a lot when you're starting out. And it's just a matter of getting into the practice of it. And for, like me, who, I feel like I can do a lot of this stuff like in the moment, I still have to go back and reestablish those connections every once in a while. Every couple weeks I'll be like, okay, I actually just need to sit and meditate. Or I'll be out in nature and I'll be like, I'm just going to sit on this rock and work with my energy and play with it and understand it. And it's really nice. I like the painting you have over your right shoulder. Right shoulder. Woods or girl? I don't know. I'm like, there is a debate. This is my right shoulder. No. Working through a lot of those meditation techniques are really handy. So if you are doing guided meditations like that you find on YouTube and all of that, some of them are really good. It's just about what's going to resonate. What's going to resonate for you as far as, what's going to trigger some clear thinking. It's not focusing on the things, the woods. I got it. It's not about working with other people's visuals. If you have a good imagination, you might be able to do it. If you have a very perfectionist mentality, you're going to want to make the path that you're walking down towards this big castle, you're going to want to know every single detail. And that's fine. But it's not helping to clear. It's not helping to clear your thoughts and your energy. So it's just about bringing it back to the simplest possible thing and getting your mind out of everything. So, John, the woods, that painting. Dude, you are a bad lecture student. Out of my classroom. No. Quickly, the woods. There is a moon. There is like a full moon in that picture. And I got it at an op shop for like $3, I think. It's great. It was done by somebody Russian back in the 90s, I think. It's signed on the back. But yeah, that's just sort of where I like to be. It sort of reminds me of Minnesota. A little bit of Connecticut as well. Yeah, it's quite lovely. So, all right. So Marvin, only the avatar, master of 4 elements, can bring balance into the world. Is that something from James Cameron? I think, balance. Oh, balance. I'm trying to find my balance, to be honest. Balance is hard. Balance is very hard. And I've reached those points in my life where I feel like Marvin is going Confucius. Marvin is Confucius. Yeah. So, okay, Marvin, this is one of those things. I don't know if I talked about it with you last week. It was a great cartoon that Nickelodeon did. Oh, is that, balance? Guys, try to talk on the chat. Stop. I'm gonna, get rid of the chats. Anyway, so... Avatar, was that the airbender? Was it I think the boys have watched it at the community center, the holiday program. So, right, back to the task at hand. The energy and the meditation and all of the things, right, that we do, that brings a lot of balance. It does, because it comes back to just being present and not letting you... It comes back to you being present and you not taking on other people's... Oh, for God's sakes, guys. I love you guys. Shut up. Kidding. On that note, I'm gonna have a drink. Okay, you guys have to send me the link for this movie. Is this it's like a anime movie, isn't it? Is that the one? Because I don't think we're talking about the same movie. There's an Avatar animation movie, and then there's Avatar, the one that was done here. I don't remember. Anyway, so bringing balance. Marvin, what can you say? You are, yeah, guys. Back, come back. We are looking at bringing balance, right? James Cameron lives over in the Wairarapa, doesn't he? I know his gardener. She's in one of my, or she was in one of my little Spirit Wings psychic circle groups. She was lovely. She's very connected to fairies. She's beautiful. Love it. And yes, fairies are real. Just saying, dragons are real. Marvin's gonna bust out a balance statement soon. Animation. Okay, yeah, you guys are on. You're not even talking about the same movie. Balance. How are we gonna balance? Who's got a word that can illustrate balance? Or oh, there's okay. Bleh, bleh. The wind just started picking up. You can see it in the background. It's Wellington. No, you're not in balance, Marvin. John, knock it off. Okay, I'm just gonna go where I need to go, and then whatever words come out, go with it. You ready? There's no light language today. It's just words. Ready? Ready? Balance is something that we strive for as humans because we have so many things on our plates. Balance is where I'm getting a lot of visuals. One was me is someone falling flat on their face because they are not balanced. And then it kind of came around to a cake stand. Like one of those beautiful cake stands at the party that have, you know, all sorts of like tea, cakes, and things on them. As we have so much on our plates in the society that we live today, it is very easy to get ourselves out of balance. We are spinning so many plates that we are easily distracted, that we can take one step in one direction and everything comes tumbling down. If we put those plates down, we fear that they will break. We fear that those connections will be lost. We feel that there's no way out. But just as we put the plates away in the cupboards, those plates are still there. They don't go anywhere. And if we treat them kindly, they will still be there for us when we are ready to spend our energy on that one particular plate. The balancing comes when we focus our energy onto one thing at a time. And we do it right, and we do it properly, and we do it with love and compassion and understanding, and we take pride in how well we can do our balancing. And with each part, as we take each step forward, each one of those plates won't need to be balanced anymore. We will balance it to the point where it can be on its own and be self-sustaining and self-perpetuating. Just as we nurture something until it gets to a certain point that it has to leave the nest and go, we focus our energy on that and that alone. When we have so many other things outside of us that are knocking us off of our center and pushing us to the ground, where we bloody our knees and we scrape our elbows and we push our hands into the gravel, we know that we've fucked up. But not until then can we actually put down all of the plates, when we can't hold on to anything but the ground. That's rock bottom. In an energy sense, that is your rock bottom. When you can't balance anything, when all of those things that you're trying to balance are so outside of you and so far outside of you that that energy should not even be in your sphere, but yet you try and you reach out of your own energy sphere to help other people balance their own shit when it's not yours. And then we come back to our energy center. We come back into a space that we are able to take our one plate and work with that one plate and just be that one plate. We are the plate. We are the spinning plate. So finding balance is simplifying. And whatever time we need to work on that balance is whatever time we need to work on that balance. There is no time frame of how long we're going to have to work on something until it can fend for itself. We will always need to come back to those plates. There's safety in numbers, but there's a long road ahead. We take on what we need to take on, and we're proud to take that on, and we need to find our happiness within those spaces. I think that's it. So that's my special talent right there. All the words. I'm gonna go back. Okay, you guys are commenting. I'll read them later. my brain will hurt. All right, I'm gonna pull one card. What do we have for time? I'll pull a couple cards if you guys want me to. Sorry, I am gonna have a quick look. Okay. Marvin, balance is perpetual. Yes. Family spirit, work, and plates. Yes, exactly. Sorry, I'm just reading. Right. So, yeah, work, family, self, your spirituality. All of those things are those are the hard things to balance. Those are those essential things. And have been working a bit. Marvin was talking about the elements before. Sorry, I'm just sort of coming back now. The elements, the 4 elements, I feel like I'm sort of equating that. I'm sort of finding correlations and common ground with the 4 elements in my own life, right? And so you've got earth, air, fire, and water are your 4 elements. Spirit is the 5th element, but the things that keep us grounded here, earth, air, fire, and water. So our water is our emotions, balancing our emotions. Air, wands, ideas. Now, I do this backwards, don't worry. Swords I equate with fire. It's the energy, it's the strength, it's that, it's that physical aspect. And earth is how well we do in our physical bodies, how well we do in our physical planes. So each part of my life, work is sort of the air aspect. That's where I use my mind. This is where I might channel and I might help people, or I use my logic to make appointments, things like that. My emotional side, that's the one that's a tidal wave. My fire side is my sensuality and my sexuality. And then the earth side is my family. And it's me. It's, my well-being, my physical well-being. So each one of those, 4 is good because you can balance 4. You can do 1, 2, 1, 2, and you can balance all of those. And if you're in the middle, you can sort of see where you're tilting to one side or the other. So obviously, sometimes your emotions and your family are going to get the best of you. Sometimes, a partner will get the best of you. Sometimes, your work will get the best of you. It's about finding that balance within those 4 elements. If you can relate to that, because obviously when the elements are balanced, everything is sort of at one, at peace. Are you doing something? You are doing something right. Could you pull a Johnny Depo and go back to NFA as an undercover agent? But I look 68. I have no idea. Oh, I think I know what you mean. I think I'm aging backwards. I think that's what it is. I'm a late bloomer. It's aging backwards. Anyway, let's pull a card. And I've got the Line Strider today because I felt we need some gentle, balancing energy. To push through. Whoops, 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 whoops. Ah! Right. Well, there we go. There's our card. She's a favorite. Queen of Wands. See, I can immediately find the personal connection with a card when it comes up. It's like, oh, it's that. So for me, and we'll talk about this quickly. Where's the lens? And it's backwards, I know. I'm using my iPad again. The computer was pretty weird. The Queen of Wands. Now, you can have a look. So wands, what I was talking about is your, at least in my book, my preferences, is not set in stone anywhere. Your elements might mean different things to you. Wands are your mental thoughts, your mental capabilities. When I think of wands, I think of Harry Potter. I think of the way that you control the energy of your thoughts and you channel that into their, in Harry Potter, they channel it into their wands. Marvin, I have your wand. You channel that energy into that wand. And this is where your thoughts become things in Harry Potter. They would focus their energy and their thoughts and everything into that wand to create magic, to create Patronus. You know, I mean, there are all of these things that you can create with your mind. So wands, in this case, the Queen of Wands, is using that mental power, using that mental capabilities in a very nurturing and caring way. You know, you think of a queen. Some queens are pretty badass, but you know, it's a very feminine energy. So you do it with like a motherly sort of instinct. You know, you do it because you care about people. You care about yourself. You know, it's just how the majority of women are. So it's a very feminine aspect to a logic-based thought process. And with this card in particular, and this is true for all of the Queen of Wands in the tarot, they're sort of the witches. You know, they are the ones that can control their thoughts and really manifest things from their thoughts. So we're going to look at this week of ways to change our thoughts to manifest the things that we want. We're going to look at ways to balance our energy and our thoughts and our understanding of where we are in our sphere. Are we pushing too far to the emotional side? Are we pushing too far to the logic? Are we, you know, where are we? We need that balance. When we find those balances in the breath and our energy, we have the ability to be invisible. We have the ability to be safe in a crowded city. We have the ability to do all of this stuff for ourselves. You have the ability to do this for yourself. So the Queen of Wands, I think, is a great card for this week. You know, think about what magic looks like for you, and think about how things manifest in a way that we can utilize that, and we can use that to make things better for us, to make things better for our loved ones, to make things better for the rest of the planet. And just remember that the rest of the planet, when you feel them sort of stabbing into your energy sphere, build up that light and just push it out. So anyway, I think that's about it for today, guys. Do you guys have any questions? Pop them in the comments and I'll actually read them this time. My eyes are open. I just feel bad, like when I'm channeling, my eyes are closed. I have no idea what's going on around me. It's like, I have no idea what I'm saying. I'll have to go back and rewatch this and listen to what I said. Yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. Just shoot me a message. Yeah, so work with your energy. Be gentle with yourself. Be careful with yourself. And be open to what you might feel with those energies. And yeah, give yourself a go at that. Practice the breathing. Practice filling yourself with light. That's a good starting point, I think. It'd be good. All right, so I reckon I will say farewell for this week. I think that's it. I don't have any other words. The words have stopped. So I will see you guys next time. And yeah, be good. Be good to yourselves. And love you all. Be safe. Wear your masks. Those of you in America and in the rest of the world. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Yep. Okay.